Welcome to part 2 on how to create a print-on-demand business in 2021 and beyond really. I uploaded part 1 yesterday. If you haven't seen that, I definitely recommend checking that out. The link will be in the description, so you can definitely go and check that out and then come back here. If you have seen it, then let's just get cracking on with part 2. In this video, we're going to be covering creating your first design, text-based designs examples and a tutorial, graphic-based designs and a tutorial. We're going to be going over the best sites to get vectors and design templates, the best sites for fonts, the best sites for mockups, and we're going to be uploading our designs onto 3 platforms we signed up for in part 1. So before we can, design something, let's go over some design rules that are really important that you should always try and follow. In part 1, we spoke about 3 types of designs. We spoke about text-based designs, we spoke about graphic-based designs, and we spoke about text and graphic-based designs. So now let's just quickly go over a couple of rules to follow. Number 1, you want to make sure you place the design correctly on the chest, not too low and not too high. Number 2, you want to make sure it's recognizable. You don't want people having to squint or stare at someone's chest to make out what it says. Number 3, you want to try and not go overboard with colors. Number 4, you want to stick to 1 to 3 fonts. I don't see why a design would ever need more. Even 3 fonts is pushing it. Number 5, you want to make sure your design matches with the font you decide to go for. Number 6, you want to make sure your graphics match with each other. I've seen people use different types of graphics that look so silly together because one's a bit more cartoony than the other. And the last rule, number 7, just because something is an amazing piece of artwork, it doesn't mean it's going to sell. Sometimes simple sells best. So let's just start by creating a text-based design. There are a few different platforms that we can use for this. For example, we could use Photoshop, Illustrator, Photopea, however you say that, Affinity Designer, Vexels, Canva, there are just so many different platforms, it's ridiculous. If there's a specific platform you want to see tutorials on, then let me know in the comments. But for now, I'm going to show you how to do this just on Canva. Because it's a text-based design and there's no graphics, we really don't need to go fancy. So we're going to just create a very simple Fathers t-shirt. Again, this can be whatever you want, and quite frankly, this is a very, very basic tutorial because creating a text-based design is very easy. It's all about the fonts you use and the spacing and all of that kind of stuff. So, for example, if we do Dad, the man, the myth, the legend, right? We put in Dad, right? And then we need to pick a font. Font is basically everything when it comes to text-based design. You've got, well, it's not everything. You've got font and the phrase. Those 2 things are the most important things when it comes to text-based design. So let me go down and you can see Canva have a ridiculous number of fonts. Now Canva have a paid option and a free option. A lot of the fonts that are really, really cool, I like that font a lot. A lot of the fonts that are really cool are paid. And as well as the fonts that you get with it, you get a lot more elements. You get to be able to download it with a transparent background. There's a few benefits, but if you don't want to pay for Canva, I totally understand that, that's fine. You can also use the free option and they have quite a few good free fonts. Like some of my favorites is Bobby Jones Soft, I like that one. Gagarin, I like that one too. There's a lot here. Another one, again, this is one of my favorite ones, but it's also paid. But either way, so you'd put Dad in, right, and then you'd copy paste that Dad, the man. You can set this to that side, and then you could just go like that, the man. Just copy and paste it. It's really very quick, right? The myth, and then you can see how quick it takes to build a t-shirt, right? And this is a very, very simple t-shirt, and quite frankly, it doesn't really matter. The fact is, if you pick the right font and you pick the right phrase, it can sell really well. When it comes to downloading this, you can just click download over here. Make sure to click transparent background if you have actually paid for Canva. If not, you can just download it as is and then upload it to a website like remove.bg, which is a background removing website, and then you can upload it as a PNG transparent file to Redbubble, to Etsy, to Amazon, to any of these platforms. Now, one thing to note is I'm going to show you Merch Informer. You can see here, this is where I got the idea from, right? Grandpa, the man, the myth, the legend. But you can see a lot of designs like Girl Dad, right? A lot of designs, Girl Dad here, Girl Dad there. Girl Dad's seems to be doing quite well. But a lot of the designs, you can see they're very simple text-based designs, and it's all about what the word is and the font. Like this one, it's not a dad bod, it's a father figure. This has got no graphics to it. They've just used the font in a really good way, taken up the shirt, used good spacing, all of that, and made it work really, really well. And again, a lot of these shirts, like this one, it has a graphic. This has a graphic. These have graphics. So we're just talking about a t-shirt with no graphics, text only, and this works really well for someone who doesn't want to do graphics, someone who isn't capable of doing graphics maybe, or someone who just wants to create very, very simple text-based designs. You've got something like this: hunting, fishing, and loving every day. This is, I would say, text-based design, but you've still got a couple of graphics like the fish and the reindeer stuff, right? And so it is a bit of graphics there, but I would still say it's mainly just the font. So bear that in mind when you're creating a text-based design. This didn't have to be super complicated, because it really is that easy just to create the text, just to create the thing. The most important thing is the phrase and the font you're using, and making sure it matches that phrase. Now, when it comes to creating a graphic only tee, that's where it gets a bit more complicated. I've skipped out the graphic and the text tee, how to create that, because that's just a mixture of this one and the one that we're about to do. But creating a graphic only tee, that's different, because there's a whole bunch of programs. I use Procreate, I use a pencil and a piece of paper, and I use Photoshop and Illustrator, right? I use all these different tools to create those graphics. Now, if there's a specific tool that you want to learn how to use, be it the iPad with Procreate or Illustrator or something, or Photoshop, let me know in the comments down below, and maybe I can create a tutorial for you. But for now, we are going to create something very simple. We are going to create a panda playing on a video game, playing with a controller, right? Just a cartoon panda playing with a controller, and we're going to see how that does. We're going to see how to create that. So we're going to use Procreate, and we're also going to use a piece of paper just to draw out the overall look, and then we'll go to the, we'll get to the next steps. I'll show you what I'm doing. So first things first, I've got my piece of paper, I've got a pencil, and literally what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quickly draw a panda out. Then I'm going to take a picture with my iPad, and I'm going to redraw it out in Procreate. You could just start with Procreate, but I just love the pencil and paper feel of things. And then I'm going to do it in Procreate. I'm going to add the controller, and you're going to see what it will look like. This is my drawing. It's a terrible drawing, I'll tell you that. What I'm going to do is I'm going to take a picture of it, and I'm going to put it into Procreate, and you're going to see what I'm going to be doing here. So let me just take a quick picture of it. Right, now all we need to do is we need to go into Procreate. So let me open up this and record my screen. We're going to go to settings here. We're going to insert a photo. We're going to insert this photo, and bam, there you have it. And now we're going to draw in a new layer on top of this photo in black. Let's make it a bit thinner. Let's choose the right pen. So we're going to go for calligraphy and monoline. That's just the one I like. And now literally we just have to go around. This is why I like using the iPad so much. It's just really, really good. Let's hide this layer now. We've got ourselves a very basic panda here. Now this drawing is absolutely atrocious. I'm going to give you that. Let me put that layer back on so I can do the controller. And that's kind of like the drawing. Now that is a terrible, terrible drawing. I'm going to tell you that. But what I would do is I would now create another layer and go over it again and really make each section perfect. So what I would do now is I would actually change the opacity for this layer. So let's click the N, change the opacity down quite a lot, and I would go over it again in a new layer and really make the lines absolutely perfect. And this is where it kind of gets hard in terms of drawing, because you really want to get those perfectly straight lines. So that's actually a lot better, right? And then I would want to do this line on its own as a perfectly straight line. Right, and now if I remove that back layer, right, I'm getting better. I'd probably want to do a few more layers, but if you have a look at the difference, right, that's what it was, that's what it is. It's slowly getting better and better and better. It will need a few more to really look like a panda. It will need some more colors involved. I will need to do some more lines in here. Right, like it does need a bit more to really make it look like a panda. right? And at the end of the day, this is more of a quick sketch. This would take me about, these ears are so bad. It would take me, you know, about 45 minutes to an hour to really make this design spot on perfect. But then what I would do is I would add this to a t-shirt and I'd be good to go. And that would be a graphic only design, which would have a clear message, which would be a panda playing on a console, right? And you can kind of see how my process would be. I would start with paper, I would put it on the iPad, I would draw it on the iPad, and potentially I would then go and put it in Photoshop or Illustrator and really mess around with it. But I don't think you need to, but that's only if you have access to an iPad. If you don't have access to an iPad, I would say use Photoshop or use Photopea if you don't want Photoshop or Illustrator. Now, if you don't have access to any of those things, let me tell you how you can come up with some really cool designs. Now, if drawing isn't your forte and you still want to have really cool graphics, there are a few websites which I'm going to talk to you about that allow you to have these crazy designs without needing to be a graphic designer or an artist or something. My favorite site for this is Vexels. I feel the art in Vexels is absolutely incredible, and they have proper graphic designers on their team. So if I'm looking for a bust or a dog or whatever, I'll always get inspiration from Vexels. What I usually like to do is take some of the stuff from Vexels, upload it into Illustrator, and then really tweak it, make it completely unique to me, change the colors, get rid of some of the elements, really make it unique, add some elements, and then use that on one of my designs. Because for me, it's kind of like a Kickstarter to actually creating that design. I'm very capable of drawing on the iPad or a piece of paper or on Photoshop or something, but sometimes it's just easier if someone's already created that drawing for you, and all you really need to do is make it your own. Then I like to use some cool fonts. Rather than create my own font, I like to go to Creative Fabrica and have a look at their fonts. They have a huge library of fonts and they're priced really, really reasonably. And usually what I end up doing is buying bundles of fonts for maybe $20 or $25. Now what you can do is you can sign up for Creative Fabrica monthly and get access to everything. I don't even have that. I don't think that's necessary. I just buy on the go when I need, and they have really, really, really good fonts. And then the third website is Placeit. I use Placeit for mockups. They have mockups for everything, t-shirts, mugs, iPhones, everything. And I use those mockups in my social media campaigns, in my Instagram, TikTok, Pinterest, all that kind of stuff. And as well as that, I also use those mockups if I'm uploading a t-shirt onto Etsy and I have a couple more spaces left for photos. At the end of the day, their library of mockups is absolutely endless. So if I had to pick 3 tools when it comes to designing, I would definitely pick Vexels, I'd definitely pick Creative Fabrica, and I would definitely pick Placeit. And again, all the links to those are in the description. Yes, they are also affiliate links. If you want to get them, it's a little kickback for me. So in part 1, I spoke about the best tools for actually doing research. I would say these are the best tools for actually coming up with designs. You've also got Canva, by the way, to actually create the designs. Canva you can use for free, you can upload designs into, and it's really, really simple and straightforward. Now we just need to upload. So when it comes to Redbubble, it's very simple. You just have to go to your profile and click add new artwork, and then go through the steps of uploading it, add keywords, add a title, pick the product, make sure the design works on each product. Sometimes you might need to resize it so that it works properly, but don't worry, it's really, really simple. Don't overthink it. The next one is Merch by Amazon. Now, if you've been accepted for Merch by Amazon, simply upload your product to Merch by Amazon. You're going to be able to upload 1 if you're in tier 10 just today. And lastly, you've got Etsy, which is combined with Printful. So you would go to Printful and you would add a new product to your Etsy store, and then you would go and edit it in Etsy just like this. It's very, very simple. Don't overthink it, but once you've added it to Printful and uploaded it into Etsy, you know, you'll see all the information, then you don't have to click submit, and it's now in your Etsy shop. So some actionable tasks for you to do after watching this video. I would recommend designing 1 t-shirt, 1 design, and then upload it to all 3 platforms. That is what I would recommend doing, and then come back for tomorrow's video where we're going to be talking about marketing those t-shirts. And that's it for part 2. I hope you've learned a lot. If you have enjoyed this video, please smash that like button. It really, really helps me. And if you haven't already subscribed, please hit that subscribe button as well and help me reach my goal of, I don't even know how many subscribers I'm on at this point, but please help me reach my goal and I'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. And again, if you want to see any tutorials or anything specific related to designing, related to maybe Photoshop or Affinity Designer or anything, let me know in the comments down below so I know what you want to see. And for part 3, we're going to be talking all about marketing and actually getting sales and different strategies for TikTok, Instagram, and Pinterest. So definitely tune in for tomorrow's video where we're going to be talking all about that.